Mark Few live at Hinkle after the 18-point win.
Go ahead, Brenna.
Hi, Coach Few, Brenna Green from 2. Tonight you guys had a phenomenal percentage in the paint, and one of the huge reasons why was due to your guys' passing. Just what did you think of your team's passing performance tonight out there? Because there were some real beauties.
Well, it's been great all year. I mean, you know that. You've watched us, and it's probably our best attribute. It's the reason why we have such good balance, and it's the reason why we scored so well in the paint, even though we really only have one true kind of. Drew's not a traditional back to the basket guy, but we picked on her. Or I saw early that Andrew was just making some really, really solid decisions in the ball screens and making his reads good and really delivering the ball. And when he's in that zone, he's the best I've ever coached as far as making decisions in ball screens. So we wanted to put him in as many as we could, and he did a great job executing them, and the guys did a great job catching and finishing. We had some good cuts going, and I thought shared it fairly well. We're just a little bit loose with it there for a while.
Our next question will come from Jim Meehan with the Spokesman Review. Go ahead.
Hey, Mark, Jim Meehan, Spokesman Review. They looked like they were kind of willing to give up 3 balls to certain guards who made them pay a little bit. But then I thought, too, as well, Kispert, only one shot. They were really zeroed in on him. How did the guys handle that, how they defended you and get to where you needed to get to?
I mean, our numbers ended up great. I haven't seen our OER, so it's not anything we haven't seen before. They were playing soft and going under some guys, and those guys have dealt with that all year. They're, I think probably when you guard us, you got to pick your poison a little bit. Joel was shooting 40% from 3, and the first 3 went in, I think, and even the ones that didn't go in looked pretty good to me. So. It's at this point in the season, it's not like there's things that you really haven't seen. I think our guys get different schemes that people choose, and then they adjust accordingly. And so I thought we started moving the pieces pretty good and making 1, 2, 3 extra passes to get to the next action. Then we were finding a lot of success on that second action.
Our next question will come from Aaron Beard with the Associated Press. Go ahead.
Hey, Mark, so much attention goes on your offense, obviously, but your defense, your top 10 KenPom efficiency, you just mentioned them when you sat down about keeping them in check at the 3. What does this unit do best defensively in your eyes that you trust the most? And do they get enough credit for the defensive performances they put in this year?
I don't think they do. I think we've had some excellent, off the chart performances and some terrific halves. And I thought we had a good, once we settled in at the end of the first half tonight and then the start of the second half, I thought we really did a nice job. I think a couple things they do really well is they really, really absorb and take the scouting reports to hand, do a great job with their attention to detail for the most part. And they've grown in that area. I think Jalen's really grown. And then, hey, we got big wings and big guards, big, strong, aggressive guards like Jalen and Andrew the same. So we can switch a lot. And Drew can move his feet, Anton can move his feet. So it's always nice to have that option to be able to switch to go with all your other coverages.
Our next question will come from Keith Osso with KXLY. Go ahead.
Hi, Keith Osso, KXLY in Spokane. Coach, congratulations. We've marveled at your team's consistency this year, and you mentioned earlier this year when the team on the other side is dangerous, your team senses it and they step up. Is it nice and does it help you sleep at all better knowing your team will show up when the other team's ready to give it to you?
It's nice, but it does not help me sleep any better. No, it was a restless night of sleep, thinking about all the ways that Coach McDermott devises these guys and schemes and what they're capable of doing. Like I said, we knew Zagorowski was good, but he's one of those players when you see him live, you're like, whoa, okay. But so, yeah, hey, look, they're at this point, guys, they've shown their competitive spirit. literally everybody's been after us since July 1, right? And getting everybody's best shot, and so they're used to that, and you know, they always show, and they're always going to give great effort, and they're always going to, you know, figure out eventually, find, you know, what's the best way for us to attack on offense and what's the best way for us to get it done on defense. So it's been an absolute joy to coach, but yeah, I still there'll be no more good nights of sleep here in the bubble. From here on out, it's going to be, you know, these are all going to be really, really hard games.
Our next question will come from Mike DeCourcy with Sporting News.
Hey, wow. Long time no see or hear from you.
Yeah, it's been a while. Congratulations. I wanted to ask you, sort of following up on what you're saying, you've been to this point in the tournament before. Is there anything different about the Elite Eight game? Because the next step is the one that everybody dreams about.
No, I would just say, Mike, it just comes so quickly. I mean, we had an enormous amount of time off between this game, especially when you're not traveling. You know, usually you travel back, hang out for a couple of days at home, and then travel back out here, and there's all the adjustment to that. But you know, you're just sitting here, so we had tons of time off. I mean, it's basically going to come down. We won't know who we play till after midnight tonight, and then, you know, lots of film and lots of prep work by the staff. This is where, you know, having a great staff like the staff I have, I mean, I just think it's the best in the country, and they've been with me so long, and they're just so good, and all the staffs here, I mean, just work their tail off, and that's why they become so valuable, trying to, you know, figure out, because it's literally a really, really quick turnaround. We probably won't do more than anything but a walk through tomorrow just to kind of rest our guys, and then, you know, you get up and the next day is game day. So I think that's the biggest thing I've found over the years in these Elite Eights. It's how quickly they come. So we need to be rested and ready to roll.
Our next question will come from Dana O'Neill with The Athletic.
Mark, when you found out that, you know, Andrew was going to be able to play for you this year, you know, how much better did you think this team could get? I mean, obviously you knew you were going to be very good, but how much better did he make you just with that simple decision?
Hey, I mean, I told the staff, I said, look, listen, if, you know, I think we need to try to see if we can get a waiver. And I asked, you know, Joel, I asked Corey, and then I'm sure you heard this story. I don't know if I told you, but then I sat Jalen down and said, hey, what do you think about this? Are you all right with that? And he just got the biggest grin on his face. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. And he's like, Coach, are you kidding me? Like, it'd be awesome. And I mean, that just, I've found over the years, the real players, they don't fear anybody, and they welcome all great players around them. And I told the staff after I met with Jalen, I'm like, you know, this takes us from top 15, top 20 to top 5 and national championship contender. And it really has. He's a terrific ball screen player, but I'm telling you, he's really done a fantastic job for us defensively. And I think that's a little bit gone unnoticed maybe, and just the savvy that he plays with, the pace he plays at our pace and enjoys playing at that pace. And he's just a big time passer, and you know, and he's became a really good shooter for us also.
Our next question will come from Pat Forty with Sports Illustrated.
Hey, Mark, just wanted to ask you about watching your team kind of evolve in terms of a chemistry and passing standpoint. You guys always pass it and share the ball well, but what with this particular team, as you're watching preseason and everything, how did you see it come together?
You know, Pat, we started watching how they were just naturally moving it, and so then I just started just kind of devising little, you know, warm up and drills where we were really, you know, moving it and cutting and getting next actions and all that, and they really bought into that. And then I think very quickly we found, you know, right out of the gate, especially playing Kansas, that you know, that they not only like to pass, all of them, including Drew, and but they're really, really good at it. And I mean, that sounds simple and corny or whatever, but it's not just delivering the ball, but the context with they're making the decision with. They all have really good feel for the game. Some of them came with that. Obviously, Jalen and Andrew have this incredible vision. Anton Watson has that. Corey's, it was learned. I mean, it was stuff he couldn't do, quite frankly, his freshman or sophomore year. He became very adept now. We're comfortable putting him in there. Joel's gotten a lot better at it. And, you know, Drew's great. I mean, that's one thing that sold me on Drew when we were recruiting him, was he'd take the ball off the glass and lead a break and make a good decision. So it's just been a great mix of guys with really, really good feel to make the right basketball play.
Our next question will come from Vincent with the Gonzaga Bulletin. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. Vincent Saglin-Benny of the Gonzaga Bulletin. Like you mentioned earlier, you said Marcus Zagorowski had a really solid, really good performance against you guys today. How do you think going against him will help you prepare for your matchup against either Oregon or USC?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they have anybody that is similar in game to him, but obviously he's a great player. I think our guys enjoyed competing against him. They enjoyed competing against Creighton, against Blaylock, and certainly, Bishop, I think, was a handful for Drew in there. So, they're fired up for the next challenge. We'll wait and see what it is, and the teams are going to be vastly different that we play, whether it's Oregon or SC, but we know we're going to have to play great to move on.
Our next question will come from Karthik with KREM. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach Hugh, Karthik from Creme 2 Sports over in Spokane. Obviously, you guys are making it to the Elite Eight so consistently now. I mean, just in the recent, past 5-6 seasons, just how far do you feel like this kind of solidifies, how far this program has come and how special that is to you? Well,
I hope people realize just how hard it is. It's literally the hardest thing we do in our sport is advancing in this tournament. Just look at what happened this year. It's just a great case in point here. So it's really, really hard. You got to be really good, and you got to be good on that particular night. And obviously it takes a talented team and a good team, but it also takes a little luck and then just total incredible focus by your guys to be their best on that particular afternoon or evening. So, but it's really hard, and I know we've done it, quite a few years in a row now. But I can't tell you, it's hard. It's hard to get to this tournament, and it's hard to win games in it, and it's something that I'll never ever take for granted. And I just I'm so proud of our guys, all our guys over the years, and just been blessed to be a part of these groups that do know how to get it done and win games in this thing.
Okay, we have time for 2 more questions. Next one will be from Mark Cannizzaro with the New York Post. Go ahead.
Hey, Mark, congratulations. Mark Cannizzaro from the New York Post. I know you guys have spoken along the way here that the undefeated thing is not in your minds, but when teams are on runs like you guys are, and you get to the next higher and higher step, the pressure obviously ratchets up a bit. And I just wonder what it is about the makeup of your group that allows them to play so freely and seemingly very unaffected by all of that, the big picture, if you will.
Yeah, again, I'm just telling you, I think we're not hung up on the undefeated thing at all. We got to go undefeated from here on out. We got to go 3-0 if we want to win the championship, which is, that's been our goal all along. But nobody's talking about the overall undefeated thing at all. You're right. I think pressure's on all these teams as you get farther and farther along with this. And the pressure comes from a lot of places. I think the biggest place it comes from is you don't want it to end. Our team just absolutely, I bet if you asked them, they wish they could play 25 more games together. So you just don't want it to end. But, there's a looseness about them because, you got Drew Timme on your team for one, and Joel Ayayi has just an infectious enthusiasm about him. Heck, Jalen's 19 years old, and this is his first time through. He doesn't know any different, so he's having a great time. And I think we're younger than people gave us credit all year, and I think that this team deserves a lot of credit for that. This Andrew's new to us. Anton's a sophomore. Drew's a sophomore. So, Corey's the only real grizzled veteran of the whole group.
And our final question will come from Isabel Gonzalez. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Isabel Gonzalez from Major Madness. You just talked about Drew and, how he's pretty much the only real veteran right there. How much can you say about him and how he's led this team just on and off the court, helping the young guys and just helping them keep their heads straight?
He does a nice job in his own way of kind of mentoring. He's done a really good job with Ben Gregg. I mean, Ben should be in high school right now, so he's really taken Ben under his wing. And I think, it's tough. Ben's jumping in on a team with a bunch of guys that are really close and know each other, and should be in high school, and he's just done a wonderful job helping Ben get acclimated, instilling him with some confidence, and then all the while, like I said, with our own particular group, I think he keeps it loose enough, but everybody knows that Drew's a fierce competitor too, and he shows that when he's on the floor. But he's got a great disposition. He knows how to have fun.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.